7 steps to success, creating a winning local PPC strategy for your business. Let me introduce you to LOCALiQ. If you aren't familiar with us, we are a part of the NewsQuest Media Group. So chances are you live in a community that has a local title, a newspaper, magazine publication that is a part of the NewsQuest Media Group. We are on the marketing solutions side, one of the UK's fastest growing digital marketing agencies. We have an all-in-one marketing platform that helps businesses find, convert, and keep customers. We have a proprietary marketing technology that helps businesses make sure that they're getting unmatched return on investment for their marketing efforts. We have a lot of free tools, some of which you're going to get a free demonstration on it today in terms of how businesses are using those tools to understand how their marketing is performing. And I think the greatest thing that a lot of businesses get from working with a business like LOCALiQ is that they get more time back to focus on what they actually enjoy and love doing, which is running your business, right? So that's what you got started. That's what you started your business for, to do that actual product or service, not to do the marketing side. So that's what we're here for. We're the experts, and so we love to give time back to business owners so that they can get back to that passion of doing what they love. So that's a little bit about LOCALiQ. Let's talk about, is this webinar for me? If you will, you've already gone to the chat to let us know your business, your industry. If you will, go to the chat and let me know what's your role within your company. And that will help me also understand who we have on the call and help me make sure that we are offering relevant advice and insights too. Let me just open up my chat window so I can see your responses for some of your roles. I see, oh, we've got some independent schools represented, great. All right, so we've got media marketing and training managers, we've got content marketing execs, we've got a business that's represented in skincare, awesome, great. We've got a senior marketing executive, awesome. So this, we've got IT departments, website and social media managers. Okay, great. So it sounds like everyone is in the right place because we've got something just about for everyone. So if you're starting out with PPC, and we'll get into that in a second, we've got information that's going to help you learn how to get started. If you've already got a paid search campaign implemented and going for your business, we're going to share with you pro tips so that way you can take your search campaigns to the next level. It's especially helpful if you're in the marketing space, marketing function for your business, but if you're an executive, if you're in administration, it doesn't hurt to still participate in this webinar because you'll walk away with a good frame of reference so that you can better support and guide and direct your team. So thank you for that. Awesome, you all have found the chat pretty handy. I want to provide to you all a poll now. If you stay tuned to your guide there, and I'm going to share a poll. You should see it now. And so the question is, does your business have a PPC strategy? Oh, let's see, I think I got to do that again. Let's hide that. One second here, technical difficulties. All right, well, we will bypass that and just put in the chat again. Technology won't let us be great today. If you have a PPC strategy for your business, just type yes or no in the chat, and that'll let me know how in depth we need to go today. Does your business have, you can type yes, no, not sure. You can type what is PPC, and we'll get that question answered for you today. Awesome, seeing some responses there. All right, so we've got a few yeses. Some of you all have already started in PPC for your business. We've got a few no's, okay, and a few aren't sure what PPC is. All right, so we're going to start answering some of those questions in just a second. Thank you for answering that in the chat. All right, so this is our agenda for today. We're going to go into what is local PPC. for 4 sections of today's webinar. We're going to talk about the benefits of local PPC. I'll provide you the 7 steps that you signed up to hear about so that you can begin to create a local PPC strategy for your business. And a bonus segment of our webinar will be a live demonstration of our Client Center, which is a great tool. And joining me to help take us through that portion will be a colleague of mine, Michael Peaks. He's been with our company for quite a while. He's a revenue operations manager and knows our systems very well. And he'll talk to us about how clients use our Client Center to help measure the success of their search campaigns. My name is Brandon Griffin. I'm head of B2B marketing for LOCALiQ. I've been with our company for about 5 years, both in the United States and the United Kingdom. I've worked with clients across all industries, helping them with their advertising campaigns. And so I'm really excited to join you all today to share the insights from our company. As a reminder, we're going to cover a lot of information, but after today's webinar, in your email, you're going to receive a toolkit that's going to have the PowerPoint deck so that as we go through the things that we cover, you'll be able to click through to learn more at your own pace. And it also includes some new features and resources that we've developed just for you, including a report on how to successfully run a paid search campaign for your business and a checklist so that way you can keep track of your progress that you're making. So what is local PPC? Let's dive in. PPC stands for pay per click. Sounds simple, right? Well, it also can be used to describe search engine marketing, SEM, search advertising, paid search marketing, Google ads, Bing ads, search engine ads. All of these different terms you will hear people say in the industry, but they're all talking about the same thing, PPC, pay per click. And we'll get into it a little bit more, but it essentially means that you're paying for every time a person clicks on your ad that shows up in the search engine. If you want to learn more about terms, again, when you get this PowerPoint deck, you'll be able to click this link and go to a blog that we have on our website that breaks down all these different terms. So if you're just starting, you don't have to worry if you don't know what an exact term means. We've got you covered there. So in short, local PPC involves running search ads on top search engines like Google or Bing so they can show up for people who are searching for things in their local community, their local neighborhood. Going back to the chat, a question I have for everyone that's watching right now. What's the first thing you do when you need to know something but you don't exactly know where to start? What's the first thing you do? Look at your responses. All right, everyone is saying, ask Google, Google it. Yes. Research, someone said research, yes. How many of us remember the time when before cell phones, before Google, if you wanted to know something, you actually had to probably go to the library and check out a book to try to get all the information that you needed? But it's really interesting because the majority of the answers are saying Google it. And that is exactly what happens. When we want to know something, typically it all starts with a search. In fact, we all start somewhere, and 93% of online experiences begin on a search engine. So before they're coming to your website, they're starting at a search engine. Even when you open up a browser, no matter what type of device, even if you don't know the specific website address that you want to go to, it automatically pushes you to a search engine. So 93% of online experiences begin with search, and there are more than 3 billion searches conducted every day on Google, billions of searches all over the world, especially here in the UK. And one interesting fact from Google, when they looked at recent searches, 15% of the billions of searches that have taken place are searches that Google has never seen before. And so why is that? One, it's because people have new types of devices. We have Alexa for home, we have Siri, we have the talk feature now. So instead of just typing in next day delivery, we can say, Siri, take me to a gardener who will deliver flowers for tomorrow. We can use phrases now when we're using our voice search instead of specific keywords. And all of those dynamics, even things that are happening in our world, next day delivery really became really important, especially during a pandemic, food delivery as well. And so because of all of these different shifts in our world, in our industries, and in our lives, people are utilizing different terms to search. And so that was an interesting stat that I wanted to share from Google with you all. So your customer's journey starts and ends with the search. Someone had asked earlier in the chat, what is PPC? And so I'm going to answer that question further right here to let you know, like, where do the PPC ads appear, especially if you're a beginner. So here's a picture of a search results page on Google. You go to Google. In this instance, I was searching for the best estate agent in York. And if you notice, when you go to a search engine and you search, typically the first few results will say ad. You'll notice ad here, ad there. And then as you scroll down, you'll start to see some results that don't have that ad notation mark. And so these are organic posts that come up. And so when you are conducting a search on Google or Bing, it gives you a combination of businesses who are paying to show up there and businesses who are just showing up organically because the search engine found their website. If you want to know how you can come up organically, I encourage you to watch a previous webinar that we did that talks about search engine optimization, and we give a lot of tips of things that you can do there as to how to show up organically on search results. But for today's webinar, we're going to talk about how you can come up towards the top of the page by way of PPC, pay-per-click search engine advertising. So what are the benefits of local PPC now that we have an understanding of what PPC is and where it shows up on search results pages? One thing that I want to make sure we are all aware is that local PPC is not a free marketing strategy. There's going to be some costs. You're going to have a budget. It's going to take some time to plan and execute it. And you may not even be able to do it all yourself in-house. But it is one of the best ways to get new customers and grow your business because people are searching for something when they land on these results. As we move forward, in the same panel that you see your chats, we've provided to you a handy webinar workbook. So as we are moving, if you want to type some notes along the side to keep track, I encourage you to download that particular handout within our webinar platform. So these are the 4 benefits that I just wanted to bring to the surface as it relates to PPC. It's built around quick results. It's going to take an investment. It's going to take a budget, but you typically do receive quicker benefits because it's putting you in front of people who are searching for something that they need right now. When you invest in PPC, it's going to help your business increase its ranking on search engines because search engines use a combination of algorithms and they use a combination of advertisers who are paying and some who are not. And so if you're bidding, you have an opportunity to show up and above some of your competition. It helps drive conversions, getting the right audience to your website at the right time. And then there's even analytics and reporting that's behind it, which makes it really important so that way you can track what's working. All right, so that's the background. Now let's get into the 7 steps. Remember, as we move forward, if you have questions, feel free to type your questions in the chat. We've got LOCALiQ experts who are looking at your questions, and we'll answer some of them as you ask them. And then also we'll have a section towards the end where we're answering some of those questions live today. So the 7 steps, I call this the wheel of success for PPC because there are typically 3 categories to PPC strategy. It starts with the setup, and then you implement it, and then you start to get some traffic to your website, and then conversions start to take place. And then as conversions start to take place, or clicks and leads start to come in, then you start to evaluate the performance. And the key thing to note here is that this is a revolving motion, and it's never just one step, set it, leave it, forget it. You really do have to keep this wheel moving as you're implementing your PPC strategy. So here are the 7 steps that we're going to get into today. Number 1, determine your goal. Number 2, set your budget. Number 3, determine your keywords and targeting. Number 4, write your text ads. Number 5, use a relevant landing page. Number 6, run your local PPC ad. And finally, optimize your campaign. So these are the 7 steps. It's a lot of steps. It's a lot of work in each one of those. And I'm going to go into each one and offer you a pro tip, especially for those individuals who have started your PPC strategy for your business, and some how-to guides and resources. So if you're just learning and getting started, you can start there to get a foundational understanding. So let's start with step 1, determining your goal. Many of us start off our business with a business plan. You may know where your business plan is. You may have to wipe the dust off of it. But even if you don't have a business plan, you don't always have to start there. One of the tips is really important to know is that the goal that you're trying to achieve with your PPC campaign, you have to figure that out at the start, because whatever your goal is, it's going to inform your strategy, whether it's your keywords, your budget, your landing page. So it's really important to understand from the beginning what it is that your business wants to achieve. Do you just want more website clicks? Are you just trying to increase awareness about a new development? We had an estate agency within our audience today. And so if you just want to create awareness about a new development, maybe it's just website clicks. But if you're a school, I saw that we had an independent school in the audience, and you want to generate leads and prospects for your next term, maybe that's something that's really important for your business or school to do. Or if you want to drive phone calls or people to actually come into your physical store, it's really important that you understand what it is that you want to achieve. And so if you're just starting out in this area, the resources that we share is the SWOT and PESTLE analysis for marketing your business. We offer you free templates, and so that's really helpful. It's almost like a expedited, summarized version of a business plan. So I really encourage you to utilize that resource there. Number 2 is set your budget. Now, disclaimer and a little warning, we're going to do a little math, but I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. So when it comes to setting up your budget for your paid search campaign, you want to consider the industry that you're in. Are you in a really competitive market? And are there hundreds of other businesses like yours in your same geographic area? All those things can impact how much money your business has to invest into PPC if you want to be able to compete. And then also the number of products and services that you're trying to advertise. If you are trying to not only promote your brand to create awareness, maybe you're trying to establish a recruitment marketing campaign to try to get people to apply to your business. You got to think about what's important to your business right now so that you can invest the resources that you have. And I'm sure we all have limited resources, so it's really important to make sure that we're spending our pounds on the objectives that are really going to make a difference in our business, like this quarter. And even we have to consider the economy, because I know we're all experiencing inflation in our personal lives, but it also makes a difference in the digital space as well. Because just as 20 pounds in your car won't get you as far as it did a year ago or 2 years ago, if you've only been investing, for example, 500 pounds in your paid search strategy for the last 5 years, you're not going to get the same results today that you were 5 years ago, because things in the economy and the market have changed. And so when it comes to your budget, here are the questions under the Learn How To section that I really encourage you to try to determine the answers for, because these are the things that you really need to know. Number one, how much is one customer worth? That's the profit, right? How much profit is one customer going to be able to provide to your business? How many leads does it take to secure that one customer? How many people typically have to come to your website before they make the phone call into your business? And then to think about the broader space of your business, how many new customers do you need to secure, right, to achieve your quarterly goals, to achieve your annual goal? And then the last question that I encourage you to learn how to answer is, what is your capacity? What is the capacity of your business? Because we could want 1,000 new customers, but we only have so much budget. We only have so many employees, and so we can only handle so much business. And so it's important to answer those questions so that way you can invest into the strategy appropriately. All right, so here's the little math that we're going to do today. Is I'm going to try to help us try to understand the framework of math that we would use to determine our cost per lead, our cost per click, so that way we can maintain our profitability. Because of course it takes money to make money, but we still have to be strategic about it to make sure that we are coming out profitable. And so let's go with this. Let's say one customer is worth 500 pounds of profit, okay? If it takes 10 leads to get to one customer, which means you need 10 people to call your business, so that way you can get this one customer that's going to generate a 500-pound profit. Those are the 10 people. Then your cost per lead is 50 pounds, which means if you want to remain profitable, the most your business would need to spend is 50 pounds to get the attention and to be able to interact with these leads. These are people who are calling you, so that way you can turn them into a customer. All right, so we're kind of starting with the end in mind. We know that we're trying to get a profitable customer. That's the end, and we're reverse engineering this so we can figure out what do we need to invest on Google, on Bing every day with every click. So in order for us to get people who are calling our business as leads, we need them to come to our website. And so these 10 people down here represent clicks to our website. And so when we have 10 clicks to our website, if for every 10 clicks, one person becomes a lead, then the cost that we would be willing to pay is 5 pounds per click. I know I probably have lost some of you, but it's okay. If you've got questions, feel free to type the questions in the chat. We'll come back through and try to answer some of them. Also, you'll get the recording of this call in your email afterwards, and you'll be able to come back through the slide as well to kind of replay that a little bit more. But that's the math in order to come up with the amount that you should be paying for every click, so that you can generate that customer and still maintain your profitability. Something else that you can read later is about LOCALiQ's cross-media optimization technology. It's something that takes the hard work out of trying to figure out what your budgets need to be on which platform, and it really takes a lot of the hard work, and it does a lot of the that math for you. And so I encourage you to read that a little bit more after our webinar to see how you can use that for your business. Moving forward, step 3 is determining your keywords and targeting. I'm just going to highlight a few things. That budget piece was pretty in depth, but as we move forward, I'm just going to give you the highlights of the next few steps. And so the tips that we would suggest when you're creating the keywords for your paid search campaign, don't just think about the keywords that you want to show up for. Also think about the keywords that you don't want to show up for. These are keywords that aren't related to your products, your business, your service. Remember, we talked about a lot of people are conducting searches by talking to Siri, by talking to Alexa, and it's easy for people to land on your website by mistake. And so you want to try to mitigate that as much as possible, because remember, every time a person clicks on your ad, you're having to pay. And so you want to try to eliminate people coming to your website when they aren't looking for your exact service. One other thing that I would encourage you to consider is also developing a retargeting strategy. This is especially for maybe the law firm that's represented on our call, or other businesses who have a long buying cycle, right? People may not buy or purchase or contact your business on the very first time of coming to your website. So you can implement targeting tools to retarget people who come to your website but didn't take that action that first time. And then we've got some learn how to tools, how to conduct effective keyword research, and how to use Google's keyword planner to help make sure that you're using the right keywords. Step 4 is writing your text ads. Now, some of you may not like writing, and that's okay, because this is one of those things where it's especially helpful if you're working with a team like LOCALiQ. We do this bit for you. We write your text ads so that you don't have to do that. But if you're writing your own text ads for your search campaigns, here are some tips that you could keep in mind. And that is, you only have 2 to 3 lines to work with. So you want to make sure you keep your ads short and to the point. You want to make sure that you've got a couple of different ads out there. Make sure that you're reinforcing your unique selling points. So we've got resources here that'll share with you how to do that. And then just make sure you incorporate good factors like keywords in the headlines so that people can see very quickly, oh, this business is offering what I need, as well as calls to actions. So for example, in this example, an award-winning dentist request an appointment online. Great. It's telling me the location. It's telling me that I can just reserve my appointment online without having to call someone, without having to wait on hold. It's giving me everything I need very quickly, and it's going to lead to the user taking a call, responding to that call to action. Number 5 is using a relevant landing page. And I think this is one of the biggest areas that a lot of businesses make a mistake. They start their search engine advertising campaigns and they're promoting their brand, they're promoting that they are hiring, they're promoting their sales, and they're sending everyone to the home page. They're sending everyone to the front page of their website. And so the biggest pro tip that I wanted to share with you today is make sure you use different landing pages for different ad groups and different campaigns. If you are a home furnishing business, if you've got a campaign promoting doors, send people to that landing page for people who are searching for information on your products related to doors. And the people who are looking for things for windows, take them there. You want to try to help reduce the amount of steps that people take to get to the answers and the information that they're looking for on your website. You can also, if you aren't sure how your website is performing, I really encourage you to do this. Some of you may have done it already because it's on our website, but if you haven't, go to our website, or you can click this link in this PowerPoint deck and put your website through the website grader from LOCALiQ. When you do that, it'll give you like a report card for your website and show you how your website is performing across a lot of different domains. Number 6 is, once you do all that work, now it's time to start to run your local PPC ad. And a few things that I want to call out here is, you know, a lot of people, when they talk about paid search ads, Google is always in the conversation, especially here in the UK, because as you can see in the chart here, Google represents about 92% of the market share when it comes to searches. But I do want to point out that a good 5% of the UK population, which is a good amount, still utilize Bing, okay? And so I wanted to incorporate that to let you know that just because most of the market share is with Google, you know that we, as a business owner, you know that you can't target everyone for your business. Everyone is not your customer. And so you want to try that unique, you want to try to engage that unique customer profile. And I just wanted to call out here that 5% of the market, of your market, might be on Bing. So when you're investing into your paid search strategy, you want to look at the audience, who's on Google, who uses Bing, and make sure that you're putting your dollars where your audience is, and not just going with where or what's most popular. Now, the other thing that I want to encourage you as you're running your PPC ads is to consider automated strategies. Google has now responsive search ads, and so instead of just coming with 1 or 2 ads to run, it's asking you to come up with a variety of headlines, and then Google will do the work of making sure that the right headlines and the right ads show up to the right person. And they're using automated technology to do that. So I want to encourage you to consider those things when you're implementing your PPC strategy. And then the last step to success is optimizing your campaign. I bring back the wheel of success. Understanding, especially if you're doing this yourself, understanding that this is a constant flow. Remember, don't just set up your paid search ads and leave it for a month, leave it for 6 months. You have to keep going back on a at least weekly basis, if not a daily basis, especially as it relates to like those bids, to make sure that it's constantly being optimized and that the Google and the Bing algorithms are responding favorably to all the different elements in your campaign. I also want to stress one of the benefits of working with a company like LOCALiQ is that we've got a lot of technology and expert power behind us that your business could benefit from. If you're doing this in-house or you're managing your campaigns yourself, I think this is a really good illustration that talks about how LOCALiQ has a technical component in which we have all the technology, we have all the insights from the different campaigns, the different industries, and we have special relationships with publishers like Google and Bing. But also we have human experts who are monitoring campaigns as well. And so when you put the two of those together, you can see this chart communicates or illustrates just how many more or how much more responsive your campaigns can be when you utilize technology brought to you by LOCALiQ, as opposed to having to do it all yourself or just with 1 or 2 people. Changes have to take place every day because Google's algorithms and Bing's algorithms are searching for results every second. And so how your campaign is able to respond really makes a difference. Cool, well, those are the 7 steps to success. Determine your goals, set your budget, determine your keywords and targeting, write your text ads, use a relevant landing page, run your local PPC ad, and optimize your campaign. If you've got questions, I encourage you to continue to type your questions in the chat. We're getting ready to wrap up for our Q&A section in just a moment. And also just a reminder, you're going to get this deck so that you can click on all the resources that we shared, as well as some new resources that we've developed just for you, including a checklist and other steps and strategies that you can implement when you're getting started with your paid search campaign for your business. So that's going to be in your email by tomorrow. But as we go into our final segment, this is really important, especially for those individuals who are working directly with the campaigns or those senior level individuals who are on the call. The biggest question, how can I measure success, right? Because like we talked about, PPC is one that's going to take investment. You're going to have a budget. And it's okay to get a budget, but we have to be able to prove the return on our investment. So how do we do that? And one of the ways we help our clients measure the return on their investment is through our LOCALiQ Client Center. And I want to invite my colleague Michael Peaks to join us now, and he's going to take us through a live demonstration of what the Client Center is and how you and your business can use it to measure the results. Mike, thanks so much for joining us today.
Pleasure, Brandon. Thank you very much for having me. And I'm really looking forward to showing everybody on the call through what our systems can do. So I'm just going to share my screen, and we'll just spend kind of 5-10 minutes. I'll run through some of the benefits that we can provide with our platforms. Okay. All right, so I'm hoping you're going to be able to see my screen just now.
Yep, we can see it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. All right, so as I say, just a quick overview of what our client-centered dashboard platform can do. And I'm just going to start with a little bit of a headline about how it works and some of the headline stats that we can see here. So Client Center is a combination really of CRM and analytics platform that allows us to, give you access to your data generated by campaigns run by LOCALiQ, as well as information about your website and organic channels that are feeding conversions on your website. And the way it does that is when we bring clients on board, we provide a single piece of script code that will be implemented on your website. It will go globally. And that will just allow us to be able to grab information about how users are interacting with your site. So, when people are clicking and landing on your website, how are they getting there? Have they come via one of the paid campaigns from LOCALiQ, or are they visiting via an organic channel, social channels, or Google or Bing by search, or coming directly to your website by typing the URL into their browser? We'll give that information. We'd also be able to see who's calling your company, who's emailing, and whether any web events are taking place. So I'm talking about form submissions or loads of landing pages that have, a thank you URL for a purchase confirmation page, something like that would be classed as a web event. So our code can allow us insights into when those events are taking place on your website and feed that into the Client Center dashboard to be able to allow you to assess the effectiveness of your campaigns. So firstly, just looking at this campaign overview page, this is just a test account, by the way. This is not client data, but this is showing us the last 30 days what's been going on with any paid campaigns via LOCALiQ. So how many impressions, clicks, calls, and emails. That's further broken down then into the individual campaigns that are running. So it's quite common that when we run PPC campaigns for clients, we would have multiple individual campaigns in there. So we might be running a branding campaign as a small element, perhaps a recruitment campaign, as well as the campaigns that are pushing the main core of the business. So we get some headline stats here of what that looks like. So this cycle here, we can see that it's generated since the 17th of June. It's spent 25% of its budget. It's delivered so many impressions, 74 clicks, and 521 leads. Now, that's probably how we can tell that it's test data. I don't want anyone to get carried away thinking we can deliver 521 leads from 74 clicks. But in the real world, you would see your genuine, your actual campaign data there. And again, all campaigns are kind of listed under here. So that's an easy way to kind of visualize what's going on with my campaigns right now. But then obviously we can dig down deeper and we can see specifically to do with our search campaigns exactly what's going on. So we look at the search activity report. Okay. And this is going to show us over the last 30 days is the current sort, but it's currently showing us, you know, what is being spent each day on the green bar and how many impressions are being served through the campaign on each of those days for that spend. Similarly, we can toggle through, we can see how many people are clicking on our adverts for the particular spend on a particular day and how many leads are coming in off the back of that spend. So it's a really simple way to see, okay, spot any trends that are happening, see what's going on over the last month. Similarly, we can break this down and see lifetime of the campaign via custom dates, or we can look at something like the last week. You know, if we've made some changes to a campaign, we can have a look and see what impact has that had on the campaign. You know, are we seeing more leads? Are we seeing more clicks? And everything's kind of there, you know, at the click of a button. We're not having to sort of, you know, speak to an account manager, get them to pull various reports, wait 24 hours and get that information back and then kind of dissect that. It's all quite accessible within this dashboard, so we can see exactly what is going on with our campaigns. If we look down here, drilling down further into the search campaign performance, we can see the leads. So it gives us a further breakdown of, you know, how many calls are occurring over this, filtered it now into a 7-day period. 18% of our leads are coming from calls, 75% are coming from emails. We're grabbing some chats in this case and web events. So again, that's form submissions or people visiting an area of the website that we're deeming to be, you know, pertinent to a conversion. So we're grabbing that information there. And then if we scroll down to the bottom, we can just see a daily breakdown of everything. So it gives us a little bit of a different view of the same data, if you will. So it's showing us the spend daily, how many impressions are coming in and clicks. And then we're also pulling some direct data directly from the publishers on cost per click from Google and Bing and click-through rate. And then it's breaking down daily again, how many leads have come in total and what method of lead has been generated. So it breaks down the activity, and, you know, as I say, if you've got 30 seconds to come and look at how things are going, you can come and look at the chart and see exactly what's going on, or you can start to drill down further into the specifics of what's going on a daily basis. If we have a quick look at the keyword report here, we can also see we get data pulled in from the publishers, from Google and Bing, on exactly what keywords are driving the impressions, clicks, and click-through rate. Obviously, in this case, we're just running demo data, so there's only a couple of keywords here, but in a live campaign, we might have, you know, 500, 1,000 keywords as part of a campaign, especially after we've been running for maybe 6, 12 months. You know, we get a lot of keywords in there, so we can then start to assess the performance of those keywords directly here in the client center. And again, it's a quick access to be able to look at this on the fly, you know, not having to run various reports and collate that data. It's here, it's transparent, and it's kind of within a couple of clicks. So that's kind of a lot of the information about what we can look at specifically regarding our search campaigns. I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes also looking at a little bit more of the lead nurturing side of Client Center and a bit more of the CRM side and what that can achieve. So the lead inbox is kind of, it's almost like the homepage of Client Center, if you will, and it's where all of the form submissions, emails, and calls will land when they happen, when they're picked up via our code on your website. The information from a form, for example, is delivered to its normal channel, so it might go to an email inbox at your side, or it might, you know, go directly into your CRM. But our code will also scrape that data and pull it into the Client Center. So it's all housed in one place. We can see breakdowns on the right-hand side of, you know, where the leads are coming from. So whether it's from an organic channel or whether it's directly from one of our campaigns, our code can tell us that. Within each of these, you know, form submissions, for example, we would see the data that was passed in that form. that's all pulled in here to allow you to be able to respond directly from this platform, or make an informed decision about, is this a quality lead? In this case, this has come from, it's telling us it's from one of our paid campaigns. That's the name of the campaign there. And you can then easily assess, okay, this is this person sounds like they really want more information, or we all get them. Somebody's trying to market something else to me. It's not a quality lead. For things like phone calls, they're grabbed in here as well. So at the top level, we can see how long that phone call lasted, which channel it came from. In this case, it was an organic search phone call, and we've got the telephone number of the call that happened. For all in the UK, for all of our phone calls that we grab via our capture code, we offer the chance to approve or deny recording. So if people accept call recording, then the call will be recorded and it'll be here in Client Center, and you can listen back to that call. Helps you assess the quality of the lead again. Also helps you assess the quality of the response from whoever was picking up the phone at your side. Were they helpful? Were they giving the right information? Were they accommodating? Were they driving that person to become a client or a customer, or take on one of your services? Or is there work to do there? So it can help in many ways, really, listening back to those calls. Another kind of final point really on this lead inbox is that we have a kind of simple sort of tagging system. So everything that comes in, this example, it came in as a call. So we can see that it's been tagged automatically as a call lead. It's come from organic search, and they are a new customer, so they aren't known to the Client Center previously. And we can add quite simply other tags to that. So we can say, something like, this client is worthy of a follow-up. So we can add a tag ready for follow-up, for example, and that client is then sat with that tag against their contact data and against this lead. So we can use that to nurture that lead going forward and set reminders and set specific responses depending on whatever tags we have. So I'm just going to quickly look at the contacts. So each person who submits a lead is kind of categorized as a contact within Client Center. So that all of their information is there, and we can look at how many interactions each person has had with with the website, how many forms they've submitted. They might have submitted a form and a phone call. They might have come in originally by a paid search campaign and then come back later via an organic channel. That would all be tracked under the same contact detail, so that you're able to follow people's journey on their website, see how they're interacting with you, and see maybe that somebody who's come into the website, a month ago, they've visited 5 or 6 times and they've eventually become a client, and how that path has taken them, just to help further inform, how to optimize your strategy moving forward. It's all available here within Client Center. Okay, and just one final point I just wanted to touch on briefly is our message center. So this is our kind of automated email service as part of Client Center, and this all comes built in. So when people contact, we can set up automated emails to be able to respond to them directly. Thank you for your contact. Here's a little bit more information. We might check in a few more days. And we can also use this to utilize the tags that we set up within Client Center to deliver messages to our prospective clients or existing clients, depending on what stage of the process they're at. So we can, we can template our emails, and these are just set up as a simple kind of demo account, but you can go as far as you want with these. Sorry, I'll just wait for this to load for a second. Okay. So we can set up simple responders, just to say, this is from LOCALiQ. Thank you for contacting us. If you require anything further, please do not hesitate to get in touch. just a simple kind of auto response email, and then set our rules depending on when we want that to fire. So it could be whenever somebody contacts, they receive that, or it could be on a specific date. If we set something like date is next Wednesday, send an email, send it to everybody who's tagged with, search for that follow-up tag that we set earlier, ready for a follow-up, and then select our email template. In this case, it was the fall promotion. Yeah. So next week, Client Center is going to know to send a response to everybody who's tagged with a certain status, with the message that we've set up there. So it's very flexible. It's all built in. That kind of concludes what I want to talk about, because we only have a short amount of time. But on the face of it, it can be a simple window into our campaigns and the way that those are performing. But there's a lot of configurable actions in there that we can use to really get the most from both our campaigns and people's interactions with our website. Thanks. I hope that's been helpful.
Yeah, no, it really is. We could spend a whole lot more time going through all the features. These are just a few features as it relates to page search. I think just two of the greatest I hear back from clients on Client Center is that they appreciate being able to access the data in real time. They don't have to wait they don't have to wait until regular business hours. So if they're preparing for an impromptu meeting to present to the leadership on the next day how things are performing, they have that at their fingertips. They can see how their campaigns are spending every single day in real time. And then it also gives you other features to that of like a CRM tool to be able to manage and see those leads that are coming in and move them through the journey with your business. So thanks, Mike, for sharing that. And just stay nearby just in case as we move forward and we close out. If people have questions, we can bring you back. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. So now I want you all to think, as we prepare to wrap up, what is your next step? We've covered a lot, but I'll send you this poll, and you can, as you think about your next step, what is it? Do you feel like you still need to learn more? Do you have some ideas that you want to take back to your team, or do you want to learn how your business may be able to do more with some of the automated technology that we talked about? What do you think your next step needs to be, should be, from the things that we've talked about? Go ahead and cast your responses. We'll look at that in just a second. Also, feel free to send in through the chat some of the questions that you have for myself or either Mike, and we'll try to answer them here within the few minutes that we have left. But do rest assured that as we wrap up, if we don't have the opportunity to answer all of your questions, you'll get all the answers in our toolkit that we'll email to you. And there'll also be a blog over the next day or two wrapping up all of the questions that we were not able to answer live. So that way we can make sure that you get the clarity that you need. And I think everyone has voted. I'll give 2 more seconds for people who may have their finger on the mouse. If you want to cast your vote, feel free to do that now. All right, and so we've got, let me close that and share the results. All right, so on this call, we've got, awesome, almost 70% of you have walked away with some new ideas that you're going to take back to the team. That's awesome. A few of you all still want to learn more. No problem. I encourage you, as you get the PowerPoint deck, to especially take a look at those learn how to sections and drill down into those resources. And some of you are interested in learning about the LOCALiQ technology that we talked about for automation, for optimization. And so we'll be sure to try to connect you all with some of our experts who can provide you with those details. All right, so as we move in the last few minutes to some questions, here are the final points. Remember that this webinar, as well as the other ones we've completed over the last few months related to digital marketing tactics, search engine optimization. They're all available on demand on our website. Just go to resources and webinars or click that link. If you want to go more in depth on a one-on-one basis, just let us know. We're always ready and available to speak to you and your team. And if you haven't, especially for those who want to learn more, I encourage you to sign up for our monthly newsletter in which we pack it with a lot of tools, tips, and resources that can help you continue on your growth path. All right, let me dive into some of the questions in the last few minutes that we have. Thank you for submitting that. Let's see. How much does PPC cost for each industry? Okay, good question. So PPC varies for each industry and keyword. On average, you can expect your CPC cost to be around £2, right? But again, it consider those factors that we talked about early on. So your industry, the geography, the economy. We have a few reports, especially for education, because I saw a person on from an independent school. We compiled all of the performance metrics for the campaigns that we had in the education sector and put them together and delivered them in a education benchmark report. And we're going to be doing that for several other industries as well, sharing the insights that we're learning from all of our campaigns. So I encourage you to go to our website and download those industry-specific benchmark reports. Another question is, let's see, should I use Google Keyword Planner? Yes, definitely. Google Keyword Planner is a vital tool for finding out how much each keyword is worth, as well as looking at the search value for your particular keyword. And so just remember, the more niche your keyword, the lower the search value might be. And so it's a science in terms of making sure you show up for people who are looking for your product so that they can get to your website. And let's see, one other question. How do you set expectations for a PPC campaign? Well, number one, you should understand your business. Number two, I would say understand the flow of your website and the competitive landscape that there is. Determine what you should be spending across the whole account, especially if you're working across different publishers, Google and Bing, or even if you've got social as a part of your strategy. You want to make sure you're measuring results and give yourself a timeline as well, so that way you make sure that you go back in your rinsing and repeating along the way. Awesome. I appreciate there's so many questions we've got. Unfortunately, I want to be respectful and mindful of your time and try to keep the webinar to time. So rest assured, we will make sure that we log all the questions that are coming through in the chat and answer them on our blog, and also send you the additional resources in the toolkit in your emails on tomorrow. Again, I really do hope that you found this webinar helpful. As you exit, there's a feedback survey. Please let us know your feedback on today's webinar, as well as other topics you'd like to hear about in this series that we've got. So again, thank you very much for your time today. And on behalf of LOCALiQ, we are looking forward to continuing to support you and your business as you continue to grow and implement different digital marketing strategies. We'll hope to see you soon on another webinar. Have a good day.